Joe Biden's campaign boasting they've shattered a record by bringing in more than $360 million in August alone. And Biden says most of that is from individual donors, giving an average of $40 apiece. We're also told that Biden is leading across the country. But if all that is true, then where are Biden's supporters? This was the scene yesterday when Biden arrived in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Just one supporter, nothing like we've seen when President Trump arrives in a city. So what are we to make of this? Joining us now, Nan Hayworth, Independent Women's Forum and former New York Congresswoman, and Tom Borelli, Newsmax insider and contributor of America's Voice News. Nan, let's start with you. How is Biden leading in these polls and raising all this money, but there's no supporters who show up at his events?
No, and when you hear a lot of anecdotal reports coming in from across the country, I'm very active on Twitter, as it happens, and certainly there seems to be, and I know just from personal accounts that I hear here in New York, an enormous roots enthusiasm for President Trump, and it's just what we see in the fundraising for Joe Biden is the corporatists, is the cronies. There's an awful lot of money flowing in from folks who know that increasing the power of government, which is what Joe Biden and the Democrats will absolutely do in every way, including the Green New Deal, which would be a disaster for everyone in this country and would raise the cost of living for everyone. We talked about no more taxes, no new taxes on people earning less than $400,000 a year. That's a lie. We'll be suffering increased utility taxes across the board. But in any case, he's got that support financially from people who know that increased government regulation will be something they can tap into and they can capture. We saw it in the Obama-Biden administration. Wealth inequality increased. The rich got richer. And those who weren't as fortunate got poorer. Not so under President Trump. So when we see the kind of crowds that President Trump had at his event in Latrobe last night versus the very sorry turnout in Kenosha, and including Kenosha for the president, was great. You know where the actual groundswell is.
Yeah, Tom, Biden is spending a ton of money on ads, specifically in a number of states, $45 million. This is more than he's spent throughout the whole campaign, more than anyone really has spent. Do you think that that's going to work? Because we saw that Hillary Clinton spent more money than President Trump, and we saw how that turned out.
Alison, the money is really not going to make a difference. As we know, money can't buy you love, and money can't buy you the presidency. Just ask Hillary Clinton. Clinton had far more money than now President Trump in 2016, and she lost. Because at the end of the day, what matters is the candidate and the policies. And former Vice President Joe Biden is really an inauthentic candidate, and he's extremely dishonest. I write a lot about energy policy. Just look how he's flip-flopped on the issue of fracking. During the campaign trail, when he was competing against Bernie Sanders and then the Green New Deal champion, he was against fracking. No, we're going to end it. No more fracking. When he's in Pennsylvania most recently, oh, I'm not going to ban fracking. The American people are tired of candidates that will say and do anything. That's why you have President Trump now in the White House. People are tired of career politicians. And when it comes to career politicians, Joe Biden, 47-year career politician who's been on every side of every issue. And the American people are not going to vote for that.
Yeah, Nan, in 1997, Joe Biden said kids need a choice. There should be school choice. Now he said if he's elected, he will get rid of school choice. And as Tom mentioned, he's been flip-flopping. And now he's really changed his strategy, focusing on the violence in America, focusing on how he would reopen schools and blaming President Trump for not reopening schools. Why the switch in his strategy?
Well, Alison, I think he is very much trying to poll test, not him, by the way. It's pretty clear that Vice President Biden, as we saw from his rambling presentation in front of a friendly audience in Kenosha yesterday, Vice President Biden is just kind of dredging up old phrases and old memories and being controlled by his handlers. But they are looking, they're looking where they think they can make an impact. He is leading from behind. He's not leading at all, but to the extent that he parrots whatever President Trump has done that's been successful, including President Trump's remarkable coronavirus COVID efforts. Joe Biden came out with a plan that basically said everything the president's already doing. There's no comparison between the two. And that's why you see the president is so authentic. He is so energetic. He has a fine mind, and you can tell that what his mind encompasses for this country. That's why the enthusiasm for Joe is so low. And once the debates happen, Allison, I can't imagine people not really rethinking their choice if they're behind Biden.
Yeah, there's not going to be a teleprompter at that debate. Tom, I think some people are still wondering, will that debate actually happen on September 29th?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really do hope there will be a debate. But I think really former Vice President Joe Biden is really stuck. If he debates, he's not going to do well. We know that. But if he doesn't debate, there's going to be even more attention to, why won't the man debate for the most important position in the United States, being president? So I think Biden's really in a no-win position. And I think really the wheels of his campaign are really beginning to fall off. You mentioned he's spending $45 million on law and order in states like Minnesota, swing states. And Biden is also going to be traveling to Minnesota. Republicans haven't won Minnesota since, I think, 1972, yet Biden has to go there. That's telling you something. And Rasmussen Reports just came out with a daily tracking poll, and President Trump now has 52% voter approval. Yesterday, they came out with another report. Actually, it was on Thursday, and Biden and President Trump are tied in Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, President Trump is getting 27% of the black vote. So it's really going to be a good night for former Vice President Joe Biden.
Yeah, they're getting closer in the polls. Tom Borelli, Nan Hayworth, always great to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.